Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. It's custom 3v3 action pro level this afternoon on a map called Huracan, which I believe is a first for Guilecast. I don't think we've showcased that map before, so that's exciting stuff. First of all, I'd like to stop and say thank you to everybody who's submitted replays recently. It always helps to have a little bank of replays to call on when I'm in a pinch. It makes my life an awful lot easier. And please understand, if you submit replays through Facebook and other mediums, I don't always get back to you, and I do apologize for that, but I'm a busy chap. Just know, though, that each and every one of your replays is checked out. I do try and get back to the Patreons when they send it in to me, because apparently $1 a month is the price for Guile to extend common courtesy. A little bit of extra interaction they get across the board. That's just the nature of the beast. But please understand, if you do send in a replay, I am checking the replays, guys. If you don't get casted, don't feel bad. Just send in another one, and I'm sure you will get casted one of these days. The one thing I do ask, though, is that you check through the replay first, and make sure there are no desyncs in it, guys. It's vitally important. It's nothing more demoralizing than getting 45 minutes onto a replay, even at +10, because that can take a long time, only to find out that the replay itself is broken and unusable. So please check through for those first of all. All right, that's enough of that jazz. Let's get on with today's game. As we said, it's pro level, it's custom 3v3. It's going down on Huracan. I'm ready. You guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Ching, ka-ching. Instant loading, that's what we like. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top, because why not? And this Team 2 down here at the bottom. Going first for Team 1. There's no such thing on this as a rearguard air position, so we'll just start at the very top. It's Mimics, there he is, going Aeon in Elephantine Grey, opening first of the land. His teammate to the southeast, another Aeon, this time it's Arch Simcap. We'll be calling him Arch today. He's opening first land as well. And down here, missing a redundant spot there, so this map obviously caters for 4v4 as well. Down here, we've got Tech House Noob as team member number 3, sporting the season's very fashionable UEF, opening first and second land in Halle Borange Orange. All right, let's check out Team 2 down here, right at the bottom. First of all, in Ferrari Red, it's not Blodder Mark 11 or Mark 2, if that's what it's supposed to be. Like a classic Cyber mistake that. He could have used eyes if he wanted it to be Mark II. But it's not him either way. It's actually no one cares. If you look up at the scoreboard there, you can see him. He's just being cheeky, misdirecting as those pesky Cyberans like to do. He's opening double first land anyway. Next up to his northwest, as we slow things down before things get too hairy, we've got Unknown. Not Unknown, it's Unknown going Aeon, opening first air. Interesting decision. And going Lurid Green, another interesting decision. And last but not least, skipping a beat up to the top, it's the actual Blodder. There he is. He's going Aeon as well in Regal Purple, opening first land, second air. Game quality at 80%. That's pretty terrible. Potentially one-sided. You can look down here and see that Team 2 is a whole 100 average ranking points ahead of Team 1. So on paper, you would expect them to win. But as we know in Guilecast, nothing is set on stone, especially things that are written on paper. So anything could happen. Speed things up just a little bit. Racial balance is pretty varied. We've got 2 Aeon and a UEF there for Team 1, and 2 Aeon and a Cyber in there for Team 2. No Seraphim love today. Plenty of love, though, for those pesky Aeons and their religiosity. But still, it's their decision. We'll let them get on with it. The map, how does it look? Well, not overly well endowed with reclaim. We do have some big rocks around here, but they're only 138 mass apiece. Tons and tons of 10s in these little clusters, but not uniformly spread out the side of the map or anything like that. There are some rocks strewn down here. Doon here. I went Scottish there for a minute. Sorry to any native Scottish speakers. That what happened there? Slight cyber and hack or malfunction. But yeah, weird. That's not showing up in the reclaim, and yet they look like reclaimable rocks. So answers in the comment section below if you know what's going on there. Devs, if you're watching, sort it out immediately. Good old uniform smattering, though, of the mass points are throughout the map. That is a comprehensive sneeze there all over the map, covering all of the terrain in copious amounts of bogeys. And we've got a transport out from Umno down to this little plateau section down here. Each one of the ends of the map have this little raised tiered section over here, and wasting no time, Mimics come straight in with a T1 Inti, as does Arch, to try and shoot this puppy down. Is he going to offload the rest of those engineers? No, he's not. And more importantly, those other two, none of them survived the crash, but he has managed to make two make landfall over here. One's working on a mass extractor, the other's trying to get a land factory up and running. But we have T1 bombers inbound, or certainly a T1 bomber. Bloddir is moving to cover the skies with an Inti of his own. He is going to miss the approach of the bomber by the looks of things, and he's certainly outnumbered. It's not just Bloddir, actually. It was Bloddir and No One Cares, but there's plenty of Team 1's Intis buzzing around, and the first pass from that T1 bomber from Mimics does kill the engineer with that land factory, only about 1/3 completed, and in comes another T1 bomber as well. And it's not just a denial. By the looks of things, Team 1 looking to make an actual play for this plateau down in the bottom quadrant of the screen. In comes Arch with a fully laden chariot, drops off 4 engineers over there. He's still got 1 engineer to drop to that little upper plateau section with 2 mass points there, and he actually had a lab on board, a cheeky little lab for a little bit of fire support, but doesn't look like he needs it. And with those 3 engineers right on the ground, he is able to set up shop in short order. Land factory up and running. There goes a second one. And no inbound units as well from Team 2 to try and wrestle this back anytime soon. That's a wonderful little play down there to the bottom section. If they manage to solidify their hold on it, could make life really difficult for No One Cares, who's already moving out of his main base with his commander here into this open section of ground over here. And in fact, Tech House Noob already advancing down that side. How's Bloddir looking on the other side of things? Well, he's moved straight up that western approach with his comm, throwing down a couple of land factories next to a mass extractor up there. And not a million miles away from Mimics, who's also moved out of his base just through that canyon there, and throwing down a land factory on the other side of it. But potentially major engagements brewing in this section and this section, but with No One Cares sandwiched between Tech House Noob over here and his inbound UEF forces making their approach down that eastern side, and Arch Sincat, who's captured this plateau right at the bottom of the screen. I'm wondering, it does have a little bit of a lip on it. I'm wondering if you'd be able to place artillery on the side there and rain fire down onto the main bases. It's quite a long distance away from the real core structures over here, but certainly some TAC missile launchers and whatnot could make life difficult for No One Cares, or indeed potentially Unknown as well, who's slightly further out to the west. T2 upgrade starting for Tech House Noob, 10% done there. Likely to see some fortifications going down in front of that forward position. We've also got a gun upgrade on the way now in the northwest for Mimics, 10% done there, as Bloddir's Auroras move forward to engage Mimics. Probably wants to give that comm a wide berth. If he drifts out towards the west, though, might be able to take down some more of these engineers over here. Still has a numerical advantage. 4 factories up and running down to the southwest over here. Bloddir also working on a gun upgrade, and that is flying. 32% done on that. Let's just check ground numbers between these two. So Auroras, we've only got some 10 on the field for Mimics. Bloddir, what are we looking at? Significantly more, 23 by the looks of things. Eyesight's not doing me any favors today. Few Mantis strolling out to engage some peripheral mass extractors down here. Tech House Noob won't be worried about that. He's completed his Tech 2 upgrade and is starting work on some point defense behind the factories, interestingly enough, not placing them out in front. It's also got some engineers down here working on some Tech 1 point defense too. Mimics has now got double gun on that Aeon Commander. And those tinfoil Auroras are certainly no match for him, so Bloodair wisely backing away with those. Bloodair's also completed double gun, so potentially a bit of a stalemate forming over here. And he's actually upgrading to Tech 2 now. Is that going to be his land factory headquarters, or has he already got the HQ? No, the HQ sensibly positioned back at base. Lots of people don't do that. Lots of people utilize their build capacity up front to throw down their HQ right on the front line and get those first early Tech 2 units out ASAP. It's a little bit more cost effective, but certainly more risky. Arch dropping engineers about the place to scoop up some of this reclaim. How are we actually looking in terms of eco? We haven't stopped him on that so far in this game. Generated eco, it's looking at about 187 for Team 1 versus 175 for Team 2. And Team 1 are up by about 1,000 mass, exactly 1,000 mass as they both tick over. And reclaim-wise, Team 1's had a lot better run of the mill. They're up 5k in total. So, no huge disparity yet, but Team 1 seems to be having a good run of the resources so far. And Mimic's in trouble here. Gets a crucial rank in veterancy after engaging some of these Auroras with that long-range cannon, but he's still deep into the red as Bloodair turning up the heat with his comm, but he decides not to pursue, backing off instead, and making sure he tidies up the Aurora threat closer to his forward base. There's also some inbound threats moving in from the east now. Tech House Noob just moving through this other canyon point here with some of those slightly sturdier strikers. Bloodair needs to get those Auroras on the move really to utilize their ranged advantage, assuming of course he's got good intel coverage. There's also a pretty solid battle brewing in the next canyon to the south as well between No One Cares and Tech House Noob, although that seems to be petering out as both armies withdraw. No One Cares has got the stealth upgrade, interesting, and gun on board that commander, and is currently advancing towards Tech House Noob, who of course, as we saw, went for T2 instead of gun. And currently has some 4 now operational Tech 2 point defense in the area. He's got tactical missile defense. He's even got tactical missile launcher as well, so potentially able to strike out at some resourcing options once he's got some missiles loaded in there. But Bloodair moving in with his commander now to batter down some of these defenses. Tech House Noob doesn't like the look of that. He's going to give up a little bit of ground and allow those first 2 triads to go down. Build capacity will race in behind the encroaching strikers to try and throw down a T1 PD, but No One Cares will take care of that. And the spam will move back out towards the northwest. Bloodair's commander, after taking some fire, is down to around 8,000 hit points out of 13,200 total health on that upgraded Cybran commander. Tech House Noob, having given up a bit of ground, is going to stop and throw down some more point defense though. Never got the shield gen that was planned up at the back there. Looks like he's got another one queued up over here though after he completes that point defense. That will give some good defensive coverage for those emplacements. And now No One Cares backing up away, giving himself some room. He's up to 2 stars in veterancy and on about 8,600 hit points. Pressure still being applied by Tech House Noob, but it looks like it's finally petering out. And away he goes. And what is that? Have we got a little drop underway up here at the top of the screen? Chariot for Unknown. Drops off 1 engineer onto that upper tiered section of the rear plateau. And manages to get a reclaim order off on Terrence, who was minding his own business after completing his one and only order up there. Gets a little bit lonely. Conjures up visions of those poor chaps on the mountain tops in between Minas Tirith and Gondor. No, Minas Tirith is in Gondor. Minas Tirith and Rohan. Good one, Guile. Very vulnerable to chariot engineer attacks when you've been sat up there on a mountaintop waiting to light a beacon for years. I always sort of see people bring that up. It's like, I'm pretty sure they'd be on rotation. They're literally not going to be stationed out there for years on end. They'll have some kind of army placement, some detail that no one wants to get. Or only people who end up sleeping with a lieutenant's daughter get some horrendous posting. Anyway, back to the game. Blodir on the warpath, up at the top of the screen. And he has completed himself the personal shield on board that commander. Currently depleted, but he's got a lot of asylums moving up with him. And in fact, Mimics, who's taken a bit of a battering, he's also got the personal shield upgrade. So these guys matching each other, one upgrade for one upgrade, but Mimics seemingly outgunned here against Blodir. Blodir, who we should have mentioned, by far and away exceeds anybody else playing on global ranking. Mimics, the next highest rated player, is giving up some 600 global ranking points. That's how disgustingly adept Blodir is at this game. And currently it's beginning to show with how punishing he is being right now at the top of the screen. And amazingly, they haven't managed to burn this infestation out. Blodir going for the... Not Blodir, sorry. See, he caught me out. That's why this renaming business is so disgraceful. Typical Cybran degeneracy with their renaming business. No one cares, sorry. Going for cloaking. 14% done there, but proceeding slowly. But look at this pressure that Blodir is applying right at the top of the screen. About to tick over the 15-minute mark, and Blodir pretty much at the foot of Mimics' main base, and now engaging the shield. Mimics has replenished his shield, and he pops back out again to proffer some resistance. Is it going to be enough? He's got a lot of assistance, though, coming up from the southeast from Tech House Noob. Mainly T1 force, but with a couple of Titans thrown in there for good measure. Blodir taking no chances. He's not going to overextend. I would have gotten far too excited and gotten myself killed here if I was Blodir in this position. Thinking I am invincible when I'm really not. Nice little run by through the center, though, from Tech House Noob. Threatening the main base over here. And in fact, one or two units actually making it all the way through. Be really nice to see if Arch can capitalize on this little section. That looks like it might be artillery. Yes, it is. Miasma, one operational ready. Another one under construction, and 4 more queued up after this. What can they hit from that position? Well, tops out right at the middle of No One Cares' main base, but still, that's enough to make a real nuisance of yourself. You've got at least 2 core mass in range there. All these air and land factories. We've got the land headquarters. You can see No One Cares working on some shield gens because it's starting to worry him already, but will he be able to keep up with the inbound fire now that there's already 2 miasmas operational, and more will be going up all the time, I'm sure. Harbingers testing their luck as they push through these narrow canyon passes. Ran into a couple of Percivals, though. That's generally a good sign that you've pushed your luck too far and you should withdraw if you're a pesky little 4-legged Spiderbot. I mean, it's not Spiderbot, is it? You've got half the number of legs. Unless you've had them pulled off by some humongous deranged child. RAS upgrade on the way for Unknown. That's actually his first comm upgrade. We haven't seen him put his commander in harm's way yet. Very much a similar situation, of course, to Arch. That middle player able to keep the commander, by the looks of things, in the main base. And we actually had a strat bomber out for Unknown, but that does get shot down by Arch with his air superiority fighters. Looks like Unknown has a larger number of air superiority fighters, so he's got, I wouldn't say air dominance, but some paper-thin air dominance at least. Certainly not enough of those air superiority fighters in play yet to be swinging the game in any major direction. Harbingers for Blooded down here, whacking some Titans, but they're about to get counter-mobbed by these Percivals that are moving in from the northeast. Down they go. That is a lot of attack missiles. No, it's not. It's a lot of mobile artillery. Demolishers moving in from Tech House Noob, giving them some ranged options. And we've actually, speaking of range, we've also got sniper bots under shield coverage from Mimics in this northern canyon. Now, is this going to present a problem for Blodir in this forward base, which is currently unshielded by these asylums that are covering his comm? All depends if these demolishers are allowed to set up shop and if these sniper bots can get in range. What? Laser? Now this is something you don't see every day. He's completed Cloak, and he's going for... This is a very interesting development. Usually when we see a laser, we go Cybran, because we know what's coming, and if he isn't already in possession of a teleporter, that's going to be the next upgrade. But it looks like No One Cares has significantly larger testes than the average Cybran, and he's going to walk in the front door by the looks of things. The question is, what's the intel situation? Do we have any Omni up and running? It's a very small 1x1 footprint building, so forgive me if I gloss over it. I can never quite tell if I've got the intel up and running. Well, it seems like I do. I don't know if it's working. We can see the lines. It doesn't look like there's a great deal of intel. That's for Arch. That's Tech House Noob, but that is just a T2 radar. And Mimics has some scout planes kicking about, so no Omni on the field. We do have Tech 3 Air, so I suppose we could have a spy plane at any time that could reveal the danger. Blodir, not Blodir, I've done it again, right? New rule. You are not allowed to be featured in Guilecast if you change your name on your commander, because it's not fair on my tiny brain. No One Cares. Moving out from the forward position, and I'm guessing, I don't know if I can actually tell. No, I can't tell, of course, because I don't have access to their UI, but I'm guessing he'll have that comm on hold fire so as to not blow his cover. 21 minutes into this game. That's super early as well for an aggressive play like this, a unit to come out of the woodwork. I guess you really wouldn't want this type of play to go ahead much later, but I'm stunned because you just don't see it. And what have we got in the main bases? Well, not a huge amount. We've got Percival's loitering up over here near Blodir. We've got sniper bots over here also covering Blodir. And units down here on the front line. And meanwhile, they're completely unaware that a hostile Cybran commander is just strolling up towards the main bases, equipped with microwave laser. The one and only tool he needs to completely ruin your day. But is that an Omni? That's an Omni. Now, once that's completed, that will cause all kinds of problems. And I don't know if it... The Omni doesn't... Yeah, it does show up if I hover over it. It's hard to hover over it, though, when it's under construction. If you look on the mini-map, you can see it. You just see that outer red line there over on the left-hand side. And, of course, he is well inside that. He is down here. The Omni extended out to this range. So as soon as that completes, Team 1 are going to see that commander. It's going to be one hell of a surprise. But the Omni is only about 65% done. It is climbing fast. Question is, what's he going after? He's going to want to stroll right up to the commanders and take them out. Where are the commanders? Mimics over here is on the front line, advancing against Blodir. Whereas Tech House Noob is down there. Where is Archer's commander? Archer's over here. But I mean, if he can get in the main base and cause enough damage. Omni is completed. Units engage. Oh, and he's right by a Percival. He needs to take those out. No one cares. Sends out an expletive in local chat. But out goes the attack command. Hold fire. Order rescinded. He's taken some damage already, but at full health, he's at 35,000 hit points. That's only 10,000 less than a Monkey Lord. And he's just cleaning up Archer's power grid. Now he targets the land factories and the main base of Tech House Noob. Down goes the all-important Tech 3 land headquarters. No more Percivals for you, sir. These land factories down here will finish their run and then not be able to produce any more until a new headquarters is built. Next up, the core mass under threat over here for Arch. Where is Arch's commander gone? Is he evac'd? He has moved all the way up here to the top of the screen, but all of the core mass is down. His base is in pieces. Engineers hurriedly try and throw down some point defense, but the Omni has been destroyed anyway. There is a spy plane circling above, though, so they have got a read on him. I don't know how they recover from this. Archer's base has been completely incinerated. They've made no progression against Blodir in the meantime. No one cares, has absolutely eviscerated their opponents. There are GGs going out in chat. Oh my word. And now Mimics' core mass taken out. All of those T3 and the one T2 mass extractors. And there's the Control K from Arch. He knows he's beaten. Wow. How about that, ladies and gentlemen, for some variety of play and some steely determination. That's the thing of beauty right there. I love it. That is, you see, that completely reforms my opinion of Cybran players when the Mazer is used like that. I suppose it's not a Mazer, is it? Well, the Laser is used in that capacity, strolled straight in through the front gate, got the upgrades up early enough before the Omni could defend against it. Fantastic work, and it's a clean sweep from Team 2, despite the fact that they lost the ground down here. I think it's fair to say Arch was never able to capitalize on this. He was able to solidify control down here, and he was utilizing that to bombard this base, and he was, I think it's fair to say, having some impact. You can see the air factories that were down here were destroyed for no one cares. He lost the land factories down here. Did he ever actually have... He must have had some tech land factories, Tech 1, Tech 2, Tech 3 land factory HQs. You would have imagined it. I can't see any teched up wrecks anywhere. Maybe he didn't. Maybe everything just went into that commander. But wow. Ballsy play. I love it. There you go. If you're wondering, guys, what's going to get you casted, that's going to get you casted. That's the sort of play I want to see. Fantastic work. MVP, it's not even in doubt. Blodir did superb work holding Mimics at bay and holding off Tech House Noob as well, who was coming in through this little aperture here. But there's only one winner, really, and it's No One Cares. Phenomenal work. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Don't forget, please do check out the Patreon. It's a mere $1 a month. Like it said, you get a nice little response when you send me in replays. You get a little extra $1 a month courtesy. You get to join the little community we've got going on our Discord now. A few hundred people there. We're going to get some games, some community-only games on this evening as it happens. Might start streaming some of those on the main YouTube channel as well, so you guys can see what it's all about. Yeah, and let's think about it. What do you spend $1 a month on? That's a candy bar. That's dreadful. Worse than my Scottish accent. Anyway, that's enough of that. Until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.